Varus as well. Yeah, that's one of them. Kaiser is massive within this tournament. I think it's just an NA thing in general, especially Kaiser in the mid lane and especially AP Kaiser as well. Saw it a lot in the qualifiers. We don't necessarily see it within EU, so it's definitely one of the flavors of North America coming out here. And it is that Kaiser, and it is always played pretty well. We see that Style go for, actually, no, not Style, sorry. Puddi take the Kali pick this time. Oh, that leaves the Gragas open as well. So yeah, Gragas was banned last match.
That's
Gragas
right.
is the big pick. I mean, he has been for pretty much, I'd probably say, most of the esports time within Wild Rift. He is still a massive pick, a massive flex pick as well. He could be in that jungle. He could be as a support also. So we don't quite know yet where that Gragas is going, which is always a good thing to do in the beginning part of the drafts, just to throw off the enemy team.
Now, quick update here. Oh, I love that. Hell yeah, give me some Aatrox, baby. But back to Gragas. Are people playing him full AP these days, or is it still like tanky, just full front line? Okay.
Yes, very, very tanky. We don't generally see him actually go much AP anyway, but he is definitely there for the full engage. When he belly flops over the wall with his CC. Oh, he gets the Alistair as well.
Come on! Come on! Josh, don't tease me like this. You have Gragas already locked in. Lock it in, coward. Come on. Give us a show. No, you. Oh my God. How dare you? I'm signing off, Flam.
So close.
I gotta check out. I need a message starting right now and be like, if you don't lock in Yasuo in the second round, I'm unsubscribing from your Twitch. My 22-month streak,
everything
out the window. Goodbye. I'm just kidding.
That was a massive upset there, it seems. The Yasuo was hovered for quite some time, but I think it was just for that initial reaction. So I think definitely got what they wanted. They definitely got the reaction that they bargained for. Interesting, we see the Vi ban here. I don't think it'd be one of the things that Puddi would go for themselves. They go for the Ashe and then they ban the Gwen. Gwen had no signs of actually showing up in the last match. Gwen has definitely dropped off between seasons. She used to be one of these priority pick champions, and now all of a sudden she's just not quite where she needs to be within competitive and within these matchups. And the last ban is the Renekton and the Lee Sin.
Both of these bans, for me, say that Styles is pretty much anticipating this Gragas going into the support role, or at least not the jungle. And that's kind of the power of flex picks, where you can always just keep your opponents guessing, because then if they decide to actually put this Gragas in jungle, then it would just throw them for a massive curveball. But Kha'Zix is still on the table, and you know, if it ain't the Lee or the Vi in pro play, then the Kha'Zix always seems to make its way through the rounds at some point.
Yeah, no, Kha'Zix is definitely a great champion. We've definitely seen a big switch up in terms of what the team comp consisted of for Puddi last match. We had those 3 bruisers. We had the Ziggs that could happily chill in the backline, as well as the Jace that could get in if he wanted to, or just chill back with Ziggs and drink a nice cup of char. But this time around, we're seeing the fact that they got 2 assassins, they got the Gragas, and they've got the Ashe as well, so quite a bit of slow on the team. They've got the CC as well from the Gragas, but then they got the massive potential of the isolation damage for the Kha'Zix, and then Kali, obviously, massive AP output for Puddi. And then we see the Yone and the Varus come through for Style Esports. So a little bit of difference for themselves once again, but they do have the front line of the Aatrox and the Alistair. But they've also got the help of the Varus, the Kaiser, and the Yone for those, hopefully, potential 1v1 pickoffs. But we're seeing Puddi coming in with the Leona? Okay. Well, interesting to see where this Leona goes. It's definitely going to be the support. I'll have to fill you in. So there is a team that does play Leona jungle, and it is pretty impressive within this tournament. I'm pretty sure Kangas actually got to cast that match with me last weekend. So And it went really well. It went really well. It was a shocking pick, but it's an amazing pick. I heard all about it leading up to that moment, and I was not disappointed. But the Leona definitely falls into that support because we have the Kazakhs in jungle this time. But yeah, what are you thinking of these drafts?
You know, I'm still mad at starting for baiting us with Yasuo. It was a what could have been, but you know what? Gragas in the mid lane means that he's going full AP more than likely, so I'm okay with that because I love seeing 2 barrel combos just being able to nuke and one-shot people. The Kai'Sa being flexed mid lane, that is now. I know that AP hybrid Kai'Sa is now kind of a thing, and it might be one of the more disgusting things that has entered the Wild Rift competitive landscape in quite some time. However, I just want to say, shout out to Truth. The OGs know. Truth was not only the truth, but also the OG AP Kai'Sa mid lane innovator back in the good old days. So I just want to say Truth was ahead of his time because now it seems like we're getting Kai'Sa more often in these solo lane setups. I could be wrong. Maybe this is the first time we're seeing an AP Kai'Sa in the mid lane in this tournament. But just from what I've been hearing around the block is that like the AP hybrid Kai'Sa is just like super disgusting now. So it's I'm excited to see that because it seems like you now have incredible poke from Styles. You also have decent engage from the Yone and the Alistar. And of course, Aatrox, I mean, it seems like Aatrox is just one of those champions where once you get that first item, you start team fighting, he can completely run a rampage on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. The mid Kai'Sa AP has pretty much been one of the staple picks throughout this tournament. It's definitely something we see more so here than we do over in the lands of Blam, which is EU. But yeah, like you say about the Aatrox, Aatrox generally a very good champion to have in that jungle. But once again, he's one of those champions if you don't sort of get that gold lead or at least that early game lead. If everyone starts building that anti-heal, he definitely sort of falls off towards that point of the game, which is a disappointment, but it is always great to see Aatrox come out in that jungle. We see him quite a bit within the EU. But like you say, the Gragas is definitely going the AP style in that mid lane. He's already gone for AP first item. We'll probably be seeing the Kai'Sa going for something like the Manamune first. And then she will go into probably a Riftmaker, probably the Nash's Tooth. We'll yet to see. But there's been a little bit of a decent engages going on. A little bit of attack going on for the bot lane.
Let's see, the big question here for the side of Puddi is where does Molly make his first move? We already know that the way he pathed in the first game, played towards that bottom side of the map, trying to make that Dragon Lane dive happen. This time, he's on the top side. He's taking river control as Big Wall is scoping it out, but because he played through the top side off of the MTS's push, he is able to secure the Scuttle Crab, and now he's going to cross. Now we got some action on the bottom side of the map, potentially.
Okay. Alistair looking pretty damaged there from that last little engage from the Leona and the Ashe. Gotta be careful here. Here comes the Aatrox, repaying the favor. There's the pull-in, forcing the flash. We do see the Aatrox go back in. Oh, Leona's so little. And Kha'Zix goes back in with the jump, gets first blood onto the Alistair, and Gragas with a massive barrel taking out the Varus as well. Down goes the Ashe, so it's not a complete waste of trade there for Dial. They do manage to get the Ashe. Can they get the Gragas? Oh, so close. So close.
And you can see that Molly was playing to the very edge, almost thinking about going back in. He still had the flash available, so he knew that he could probably snipe in one. Oh, wait, what was that? Was that an
Ashe
ulti?
Yes.
Oh my god, Kume with the Ashe arrow from downtown.
Absolutely amazing. I love to see an Ashe ult from across the map, and it actually lands. There's quite a few times when you don't actually see those land, and you're like, yeah, we saw the potential in the Ashe ult, but it didn't quite fathom the way it was meant to go. But I like the way that Gume is using Ashe's ability for War losing the vision into the enemy jungle. But less about that. We do see that Stein gets picked off there. So, well played to Style.
Able to capitalize on the fact that Starting did not have flash from the previous skirmish on the bottom side of the map. We have a little bit of a lane swap here. Nadia actually going from the mid lane to now lane with Arvoinen in the bottom side. Whereas now Osopanda is taking up the mid lane. It might be that the matchup helps a little bit more. You have the long range piercing arrows to be able to clear the mid wave and not take as much harass damage from the Gragas setup. Hopefully this works out for Styles, as so far the early game has not gone catastrophic for Styles. They're actually somewhat competitive. Puddi is still ahead by just under 1,000 gold, but it's not the monstrous lead that they had last game.
Definitely. I mean, we did kind of see Molly still giving presence in top lane, but also the bot lane. We do see that the Varus goes down there. So was this a miscalculated rotation here from the Kaiser and the Varus? Oh, we just switched to Cam. There is still a little bit more of an engage here. Starting is just saved by Gume with that massive ult and the slow from the Ashe arrows onto the Alistair and the Aatrox. So Gume saving lives and shooting arrows from afar is an absolute saver.
Good presence of mind from Gume, just being able to rotate to that play, knowing that once starting and Lebmon made the dive happen, surely there would have been a response. The dragon is alive for the taking as huge engage from Arvoinen into the dragon
Everybody
pit.
wants it. Everybody wants it, and blue side gets it. Oh, little bits popping off here. We've currently got a 1-1 trade currently. It's now going to fall to a 2-1 trade for Puddi. So they lose the dragon, but get 2 kills over 1. They are still ahead with the kills. Still not quite that impressive. 3k gold lead, 3 minutes in. They are now only the 2k ahead, if that. And I'm very surprised that nobody went for Rift Herald. I mean, blue side's mid lane turret is looking pretty low. Ice Dragon's not probably the best first dragon to go for. I've honestly thought we would have saw Marley go for the Rift Herald, drop that in mid, and secure the first turret of the match.
And it puts Puddi slightly ahead of gold again as another engage in the mid lane, but Lebmon and Gume are able to just leak their way out of that one. Arrow exchange as well, just to disengage the play even further. Some cooldowns used. The World Ender from Big Wall already expended. So now Molly's trying to see if he can jockey for position here in the river. Arvoinen is the only person that can really face check in this bush and hold position, but looks like Big Wall had to sustain back off the camps, is now looking for the Rift Herald.
Yeah, not needing to jump out of that Rift Herald camp there. He was definitely forced out of it by Alistair. So TY Alistair for letting his jump still be on cooldown. Much appreciated. They just need to get that last hit to the ult on the back, and blue team steal the second jungle objective.
Nadia is able to seal it away, but the fight is still on Puddi's side as now you see MTS just tracking down the backliners. 3 members taken out for Puddi. I have to say, Blam, it's kind of miraculous that the steal happened in the first place, because otherwise that fight could have just been almost game-changing. As an answer from With Death from downtown, that's the LatAm Tony Stark, baby, and he's coming in with the big plays.
LatAm Tony Stark, I love it.
Do you know the story of the LatAm Tony Stark? I'll have to tell you.
No, I don't.
Okay, yeah, I'll tell you it after this game. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I need to be filled in. I want this esports lore. It needs to be enriched by myself. But yeah, like you said, that Rift Herald interaction there could have gone completely in the favor of Puddi, but they do lose the Rift Herald to blue team. It was a fantastic steal by the Varus, so Oso Panda there getting the steal on the Rift Herald, but then they did lose a 3-1 trade, so kind of Puddi got away with something out of that, but they missed 100% of the jungle objectives first time around. Ashe having to use the ult to try and get out of there from the Alistair.
1-for-1 trade between Gume and also Panda. Lebmon and Arvoinen still having their ultimates available. We're not going to have a dragon for quite some time, so at this point, with both of the dragon laners setting up in the mid lane, they're just trying to see when they can rotate and look for picks on both of these side lanes, but neither of the tier 1 turrets have been broken as...
Ooh,
oh, nice flash from With Death, but Molly's going to close on in. This looks doomed for With Death, trying to catch Molly under the tower, but quick thinking and sidestepping that fate sealed. There's another fight in the mid lane.
Another fight in the mid lane, and they do get the mid lane turret. So first turret does go to Style. They don't get the first blood. They get 100% of the jungle objectives first round, and they manage to get first turret. So a little bit of trades there, a little bit of minor victories going on for the team. They're definitely in a better footing than they were in the previous match. Akali, however, manages to get that top lane turret also. So there's both of their side lanes missing a turret, which means and opens up the potential for a split push for Puddi when something's going on at a jungle objective like this Mountain Drake in 29 seconds.
Quick stock check-in here, Blam, as well on item spikes. Everyone is at least on 1 items. But big thing to note for, as you already mentioned, one of the greatest counters to Aatrox is just investing some gold into Grievous Wounds. And you already have 2 people. Executioner's calling for Molly and the Oblivion Orb for starting as well. There's a big fight in the mid lane. Oh, With Death's dead! Not quite!
With Death already taken out by the Akali. There was the Chains of Corruption, though. It was probably misplaced onto the Leona because she can take it. She has the power and the health to take that Chains of Corruption and just stand there and still be within the team fight. She does fall, however. It is a 1-1 trade, but with Death going down there pretty early, I think that really changed the pace of that whole team fight.
So far, a 1-1 advantage, but there's still ways for Styles to kind of bully their way in. They have the poke with Varus and Kai'Sa, so it doesn't seem quite safe for Puddi to just immediately book it for the dragon. So everyone is resuming to side waves, with Death picking up this bottom wave so they can look for an angle to approach the river through the tri-bush. But Molly and Starting are already sniffing it out, and they say, with Death, you can't do that. You can't be here, bro. And another pick in the mid lane as well. Oh, this seems to be going the way of Styles, though. Huge knock from Starting. As well. Oh, Blam, it is just a slaughter in the mid lane. It may multi-knock up from avoiding it, but it's just delaying the inevitable as Puddi cleans house. That's the ace. That's the dragon, surely, and maybe another tower.
Yeah, that was a massive engage for that mid lane there. I mean, we saw it. There was definitely some sort of calculation going on there on the side of Puddi because we saw that Aatrox was all the way back at red buff. Yes, it's not a massive distance between the Mountain Dragon and the red buff, but he could still have got there. You saw that Molly was very hesitant of getting into that red, but as soon as they started picking off with Death, with the help of Gragas as well, so Starting and Molly getting that kill, 2v1 nicely done. We then saw the Kai'Sa went down, they lost Gume, they did a lot of trade, but then ultimately it went as an ace for the side of Puddi, but we're seeing a little bit more going on here. They have picked off Starting. The Gragas, because we do have that full AP Gragas, is not quite as tanky as he should be, or as we used to seeing. He's pretty much he's easily taken out, especially when he's caught there overextending into the lane. But Gume's ult not quite as fancy as that first ult we saw. Marley looking pretty low. Aatrox going in there. Also charging up that first ability there, doing a lot of poke damage onto MTS. Leona and Ashe having to stay out of that team fight. Massive double kill there for Big Wall.
This is actually a really good spot for Styles to be in, and I like the call for the Baron, as they're now just pulling more members of Puddi for the Gume is getting locked down. He's got nowhere else to run. And suddenly, Blam, even though they're down 6,000 gold, they find themselves in a great position to just pick off members one by one. But a huge explosive cast that breaks up the fight. And now Avoidant is separated from the rest of the crew. With Death really doesn't want to get in there until he can find new members.
Nice.
Right onto the back line. Leadbot is going to get taken out by the Soul Unbound damage. And boy, oh boy. I mean, still, 5,000 gold down, but they are being competitive with Puddi.
Yep, they're definitely fighting the good fight this time around. I think this Yone pick is definitely something that's really helped them with these prolonging the team fights. We see the Yone go in. We see him then later on disengage. He then re-engage with the Fate Sealed as well. I think this has been played massively within this match, especially when it comes to that massive re-engage. Yes, he's only on 2 kills, 4 deaths, but the 5 assists shows you that the Yone is definitely present within these team fights and is making the difference. Still, however, Kha'Zix is actually almost 1k gold ahead just in the jungle alone. I thought, seeing the Aatrox and seeing how massive he's been doing, I thought we possibly could have been seeing the Aatrox with more gold. But it only looks like that is, yes, I mean, that's the only close lane. Obviously, much closer than last match in terms of the gold difference between lanes, but yeah, the Aatrox in the jungle is definitely the closest thing to catching up the Kha'Zix here.
Yeah, I mean, that fight was massive. Being able to punish Molly for overextending and just really patient timing on the exhaust as well, waiting until he was fully committed to the turret, burning the flash. It's like, all right, well, now you've got no escape. Huge shutdown gold going over to Big Wall, and then as we have now a fight into the jungle, can Puddi clean this one up?
Nope, it doesn't look quite so. Style still sticking in there, doing a lot of damage onto the Leona and the Kha'Zix here. Oh, no, not Kha'Zix, sorry. The Akali, but we see that Gume gets the kill onto Big Wall. That's massive takedown there for Puddi, because that Aatrox, as we know and as we've been seeing, has that massive sustain. Great front line, especially takes a lot of the slack off of the Alistair. And we're seeing that Puddi are still going to go for the Rift Herald, Baron Nashor, sorry. They secure the Baron Nashor. It doesn't get stolen there by the Alistair. But then again, they have the Smite, and Style don't have that Smite, which is the massive difference there. Yone going in for Fate Sealed, but nice status.
The solo unbound damage could have been enough to pop Molly, so just great presence of mind for that. Going golden moment there. Baron being picked up by Puddi. Still in the lead, still with the gold lead. And now this game looks to be more on the closing steps for Puddi. It definitely was seeming competitive at the moment, but I think Puddi now starting to realize and giving the respect that Styles did deserve. Not just going for random picks and going for overextended. Now they're actually comboing and coordinating a lot of these fights, making sure that they're all grouped up and using their ultimates on key targets. Now I can see the stark contrast and where Styles seem to be able to look for members, but now it's Puddi that has control of the map.
Yeah, I think that snowball moment from that massive mid-engage, and then not only that, we saw the fight within the blue side jungle, and then we saw the Baron Nashor's takedown by Puddi. I think this is ultimately going to be leading to a few inhibitors taken here. I mean, if they can keep off the Baron minions, can we see a little bit longer hold out for Style here? But engage from the Alistair. Thinking for a re-engage. It's a little bit messy here for Style. They did play this match a lot better than the first, due to obviously being able to ban out 3 of the massive draft picks for Puddi, which was the Jace, the Camille, and actually didn't ban out the Camille. They banned out the Volibear. But yeah, it seems like it's a lot better played for Style here, but not quite taking a victory from Puddi yet.
You can see that Styles are trying to see if like, oh, maybe they want to fight for red buff. But he's like, no, we don't want to. It's throw out the Ash Arrow, throw out the explosive cast. Oh, we're getting the hell out of that one. I just wanted to take our leave. I don't even know if Puddi was able to walk away with the red buff. I don't think it really matters to them. And just making sure that they did not get caught overextended, because that is kind of just your hope as Styles, is trying to see if you can catch Puddi being complacent again and seeing how much gold you can get back. Because if I'm not mistaken, this Wild Rift has now introduced the bounty system, or catch up with gold. Now, I don't know how you can see it on the spectator client, but I know it's possible. I know it's there. I don't know how to see it. Oh, the gold outline. Okay. There we go. Right.
Oh, okay. Massive engage in the mid lane of Odeon getting caught out there. So Alistair goes down, which is massive for Styles as to keep alive within this team fight. They're looking to take out the Aatrox. Aatrox is already pretty low. Oh, okay. Oso Panda getting the kill onto Marley there. So Marley goes down. It is a 2-1 trade currently in that mid lane. Not quite having the minion wave with them at the inhibitor, so I don't think the inhibitor is going to fall just yet. But Mr. Elder Dragon there, or Mrs. Elder Dragon, is now up, and they're going to go for it. They're making it priority. They have 2 dragons. The Elder Dragon is just going to be the cherry on top here for Puddi.
Yeah, they got to be careful. They can't really start the dragon. They're using it to bait him over because they know that Molly is being down. They don't have smite. And now they might just catch up some members here. With Death is already fully extended. The stasis being popped. Big Wall's got nowhere else to run as Lemon locks him down. He walks out, but that is the cost of With Death's life. As now, Big Wall being forced out of the own jungle. Molly coming up in just 3 seconds means that it should be safe for Puddi to start up this dragon and actually secure it.
Yeah, he's got the teleport coming in here as well, so I think that was a massive last-minute purchase there for Marley to get into this Elder Dragon fight to secure it, hopefully, for them. They don't want to see another steal. That would probably be a massive upset for Puddi here. They do manage to take out the Leona. They are still fighting for the Elder Dragon, and Gragas managed to secure it for his team. So no smite needed there. We see a double kill for the Kha'Zix. He was taken away from the objective, but Gragas managing to still secure it with the barrel. So well played to Puddi. They have the Elder Dragon. They're going for the Baron. They want the perfect end.
Want to take everything here, Blam. Being up 11,000 gold, not enough for Puddi. They gotta take everything away from Styles. As Gumi is now going to just throw out an arrow, see if it connects on With Death, as it looks like he and Starting are engaged in Mortal Kombat. But Starting nowhere close to dying, whereas With Death has to limp away back to the base. And now Puddi are in the final steps of this game, where I have Starting and MTS on both on the side lane duties, sending the duo dragon laners into the mid lane, and they can get that 3 simultaneous push into the rest of the base.
Yeah, definitely. We got possibly started here getting picked off on a 3v1. Nice Ash ult there, but it landed onto the Alistair, but it does allow the Kha'Zix and the Akali to push that top lane. Inhibitor goes down, so this is a massive push here for Puddi currently. They're at the Nexus. They were in the base. Leona is leading a second wave of minions down in the bot wave as well. The mid inhibitor goes down also, so it's pretty much a triple sweep for the inhibitors, and the Nexus is looking like the next target. And it's possibly the end. Can they finish it here? Yes, they can. And Puddi take a 2-0 from Style. Well played.
Dominant stuff from Puddi. Want to give credit to Styles where it's due. A little hiccups in the mid game from Puddi. Gave them a window to punish. They did so beautifully. Big Wall having some massive team fighting power in some of those fights where once Molly was taken out and there wasn't a constant applier of grievous wounds toward the Aatrox, you saw how fearsome he could be. With Death and Arvoinen also getting some nice pickups as well with those engages. Unfortunately for them, it was not enough, Blam, as it came down to, once again, just trying to think back. This game felt slightly longer, but it did. You know what? Why am I trying to analyze the game, Blam? We have someone. We have someone dedicated for that. We should bring them in.
Hey,
yeah, let's bring him. Yes.
Good to be back here on the table with you guys. I think that what you're thinking about is like traditionally, like when you used to see Sentinels and stuff, and like Puddi now. They have a really clean first objective phase, and if we were able to get a time machine and look back, we would have saw that